Judy Corson is the co-founder of Custom Research, Inc. Please welcome Judy to the stage.
And we watch you and Amelia every night on WCCO, so thank you. Well, it's my distinct honor to introduce you to Ann Jackson, CEO of the Rockler Companies, known to many of you as Rockler Woodworking and Hardware Stores. I first met Ann back in 1992 at a Committee of 200 conference. At that time, C200, as it's known, was made up of the top 200 women business owners in the United States. Actually, C200 was the brainchild of the National Association of Women Business Owners, or NABO for short. NABO was first incorporated in Washington, D.C. in 1975. And a few years later, a chapter was started in Minnesota. And guess what? Ann joined that chapter in 1979. So Ann was part of an elite pioneering group of women entrepreneurs right from the beginning. When I first met Ann at that C200 conference, I was impressed with the company she had developed from a tiny startup with her dad. Her dad's here tonight, Nordy. He's 95 and a half, and I'm sure she's going to talk about him, but we're so happy that you're here to see your daughter get this award. Fantastic. Even then, her company was a leader and pioneer in her industry of woodworking. I was so inspired by Ann's success that I sponsored her for membership in YPO, the Young Presidents Organization, where she became the third woman to join the Twin Cities chapter of YPO. She eventually became a YPO officer and then chaired the chapter in 2012. We have remained good friends since we met 25 years ago. Ann is a woman of her word. Integrity happens to be my number one value also. And Ann always does what she promises, and she can be always counted on to do the right thing. 14 years ago, Ann approached me about serving on the board of Park Nicollet Health Services, where she was serving as a board member. I had previously had board experience with another healthcare provider in the Twin Cities, and I was interested in continuing board service. So that introduction resulted in me, first of all, going on the Park Nicollet board, and then when we did the combination with Health Partners, 4 more years. So 14 years of board work, and that was all thanks to Ann. So Ann, thank you for that introduction. Ann and I also served together on the Greater Twin Cities United Way board. So I have known Ann in a number of different settings, from business to nonprofit leadership. Not only did Ann pioneer woodworking at the retail level, as the video said, but she developed first a successful catalog business, followed by a strong internet sales business. Her business growth has continued to show her pioneering leadership. Ann did all this while being happily married to Robert and raising 2 successful children who are with us tonight, Alex and Lily. Dick and I have spent many happy times with Ann and Robert, especially on the dance floor at YPO parties. Recently, the Star Tribune did an article on the growth of wood carving, woodworking, and other craft hobbies. This trend bodes well for the future of Ann's company. Ann serves as role model for so many young women entrepreneurs. Ann and Robert were early supporters of the Home Center for Entrepreneurship at the Carlson School at the university, and they continue to support that effort today. Several years ago, as Ann mentioned, she hired a president who is now at the helm of her company, so she can spend more time with friends and family. But she still owns her own company, and I'm convinced that it will continue to flourish in the future. So to recap, Ann began her career working alongside her dad in a tiny startup and has grown it to become the industry leader. She has proved that hard work, dedication, and investments with an eye to the future make a business an industry leader. Thank you to Twin Cities Business for honoring Ann this evening by giving her this recognition she deserves and showcasing a pioneer woman business leader. So come on up, Ann, and receive your award. you. I'll put it here. Thank you. All right, take it down.
Yeah. Okay, I'll talk fast. This is my speech. So, yay! I'm so happy I didn't go first because the first four speakers were amazing, intimidating, and amazing human beings. I think I said that twice. So I feel that the Minnesota Business Hall of Fame is the Academy Awards of business. And I think I just won the category of Best Supported Actress. So like any other starlet, I would like to thank the people that supported me in this endeavor. First of all, I wouldn't be here without the support of the community, my coworkers, and my family. So in no real order, but because everything is so important, I want to just talk about the community. Most people here have talked about what a fabulous community Minnesota is, and it's true. We have been involved with the Carlson School and with MCAD, the Minneapolis College of Art and Design. They are priceless. Robert and I are both graduates of the University of Minnesota. We're public school all the way. Not our kids, but at least we were. So we're very, very loyal to our community. One thing that may not have been said is the wide array of professional organizations. Judy mentioned YPO and Committee of 200, but we joined professional organizations like the Midwest Direct Marketing and Operations Fulfillment and all sorts of professional organizations just to learn the business, as Judy mentioned, or maybe I did, I think in my video. I majored in Greek and art history, so I wasn't really prepared, but I grew into it and took a lot of classes and seminars. My father and I had joined when I was maybe 24, 25, the Midwest Direct Marketing Association, and I sat next to a lovely man who said, "Oh, I took a great seminar on how to do direct marketing. Why don't you go?" So I scraped together $50 and a plane ticket to Chicago. And we had so little money at that time, I had to stay with my dad's cousin Shirley. I had to share a room with my cousin Harold and a little boy, but still. And then had to drive back out to the airport with her car because I couldn't afford a taxi. And the person that told me about the seminar said, "Oh, Dan Harding, the CEO of the company, doesn't really like women, so be careful." But I sat next to him during lunch, and I told him how I was growing the business, actually through space ads. And he said, "I'm going to put you in my next book because you're doing everything wrong." And I said, and that was it. I learned that wasn't the good way to grow the business. Prospecting was good, and I had a knack for it. I was good at that. And the business really took off in the 70s and the 80s. And as, I don't even remember now if it's the video or Judy, said my brother was my partner, and he went to MCAD, and together we were a very good team. I mean, my father was still there, but he was an extraordinary founder, an absolutely amazing founder. He let go, and a lot of founders don't do that. So besides the community, I would like to talk about my dad, who was born on 2/22/22. And he is, I have to thank him for two really, really big things. One, that he trusted me. I was president at 24. There was like, Rick, about 6 employees, Rick? Rick and I started as teenagers together. So I think there were maybe 6 or 7 of us, but I was president, darn it. And I changed, and my brother and I would share the presidency. It was just a title. Every 2 years, we'd take turns. So we had a pretty good relationship once we learned we shouldn't hurt each other. So thank you, Dad, for trusting me. I think it's worked out. It's worked out for both of us. The other thing I really owe my father for is the culture that he created. My father's a very sweet man. He's very, very nice, very family-oriented, and we have like 3 tables of people here, and I think that you would agree that the culture at Rockler is a very nice culture. It could be that that's the Minnesota culture, because I think we can all say that about our businesses, how nice the culture is. And then I want to thank my coworkers, because obviously I didn't do this by myself. There's a lot of people to call. I have my whole executive staff here. We had a wonderful man as president for 17 years, Dave Laporte, who I believe that the company more than tripled under him. So, and happy enough, he's my neighbor in Florida too. So we get to continue our friendship. And I'm very lucky to have Ron Hornbaker, who's my current CEO. And I'm the chairman, I'm not the CEO anymore, and I'm happy. I still am involved, and Ron is a very gracious CEO to let me be involved. My coworkers are really smart, really brilliant. That one little quip of mine in the video where I said, everybody that starts a business or is in business or manages people, they say, oh, you always have to hire people smarter than you. And it took me 5 years to figure out, oh yeah, you have to get enough money to pay for people smarter than you. And they're not smarter than you in every single thing. They're smarter than you in what their field of expertise is. I don't know how to turn on the computer. I stopped learning that 30 years ago. But there are an awful lot of smart people that do know how to do that. I do want to thank, someone else mentioned their board. I do have my board of directors here. I want to thank the 2 original board members also, John Gappa and Steve Singer, who have seen us go up and down, and we're having a nice trajectory now, but for their amazing advice. And if you don't have a board, you should, and don't put your friends on the board, although they will become your friends, but you want honest advice. And I'm very, very thrilled with that. And one of the more humbling pieces, well, just being here is very humbling, but also as a wife and mother, you get humbled because you hear a lot on the weekends, well, you're not the CEO at home, which is very true. And then you go back to work on Monday and you are. So it's kind of a tough thing, but you adjust. And I'm the 2nd generation. I've been there 47 years. The company is, this fall will be our 63rd year. And our son, who's a musician, when we could afford him, used to write jingles for our music and did our social media, but now his music's in the current Nissan commercial. And our daughter, thank God, is a 3rd generation involved. She's an excellent furniture maker and designer, and she is working on a new project for us, a new maker space. So it is exciting to work with her, although she's in Brooklyn. Oh, she's laughing. She's in Brooklyn and setting up a new facility in Brooklyn that's going to be a one-of-a-kind, unique thing. So most of all, I want to thank my husband, Robert, because that's what makes me the best supported actress, maybe in the room right now, because I wouldn't be here without my husband. My mother once gave me a pillow during her 15 minutes of feminism that said, behind every great woman stands herself. And I never put it anywhere because I don't believe it. I think behind every great woman or man is a team that supports them, their community, their coworkers, and their family. And I just want to thank you all very much.